Hi everyone and welcome to another Skyrim mod feature episode 45. First up in this episode we have a mod which changes the small village of Kynesgrove. It adds a fortified wall as well as a brand new player home. Now the village itself is only lightly modified. You'll find two new vendors in the form of a blacksmith and trade house, and the wall that you see around the outskirts is only a light fortification just to protect the village from the civil war and possible dragon attacks. The true focus of the mod is in the player home, which is a nice cozy little cabin adjoined to a Nordic ruined tower which actually doubles as Kynesgrove's windmill. Now inside the player home you'll find all of your expected storage facilities as well as the alchemy and enchanting table, and on the porch you'll find an anvil in which you can forge and craft armors. The mod doesn't require any of the DLC or any other additional mod, and it's the mod author's hope that you'll revisit this hamlet after the main quest due to the player home and the aesthetic changes made. Next we have a mod which adds a brand new set of armour clothes to the game in the form of either Jedi or Sith robes. These armour clothes can be crafted at the forge and are available for both male and female characters. For the Jedis there is an option of 3 different types of clothes ranging from Padawan, Apprentice and Master, and for the Siths, as you would expect, there is only Apprentice and Master robes. And on top of that, for both the Jedi and the Sith armour clothes, there is 2 hood variants, 2 gauntlet variants, and each have their own cape. If you're a fan of the Star Wars franchise and you use other Star Wars mods such as the lightsaber mod, then you may want to check this one out. It'd be a great accompaniment to those others. And even if you aren't a fan of Star Wars, this definitely goes very nicely for a different type of mage robe. And it does work very well and very nicely in Skyrim. Next is going to be quite a short and succinct showcase for glass refracting wine bottles. And what the mod does is it adds refraction and transparency to the 10 wine bottle types in game. Now for bottles full of liquid, a small animation will play which gives a ripple type effect, and it's actually one of Skyrim's vanilla effects. And for the empty bottles you'll be able to see right through them. As you can see in this scene here, the light shines straight through and it really is quite a nice effect. This mod really is down to personal choice. If you don't spend a lot of time staring at bottles in game, it may not be one for you. Personally, I really do like it. It's great for shooting video with and great also for taking screenshots with. It does add a new nice aesthetic effect which just looks really great in game, especially if you have flames behind the bottles or, like you can see here, a flickering candle. It's up to you, but I definitely recommend you try it out and at least give it a go. This next mod is quite an ambitious mod and it adds a massive forest to the outskirts of the Whiterun city. I'm using it here alongside Skyrim Flora Overhaul 2.0 and realistic aspen trees. As you can imagine, this mod will hit your frame rate. I lost 5 frames overall on average, but it was well worth it. It really looks fantastic in game and just adds some extra aesthetic appeal to Whiterun. I would say it's more of a wood than a forest, but it's well worth trying out for yourself. For me, the best experience of the mod is walking from Riverwood down past the Horning Brew Meadery and towards the main gates. You really get a good sense and feel of what the wood/forest is adding to the surrounding hold. Personally, if you can spare the frames, then I would definitely check this mod out. You could always drop your graphics down a little bit if you like the mod, and that will save you a couple of frames there. It really is worth trying out for yourself in game. As you can see, it looks absolutely amazing, and just it's something new to see in Skyrim that you probably haven't experienced before, and that's what these mods are for. It's for keeping the game fresh and different every time you play through, and I do recommend trying this one out for yourself. Next up we have Newmiller's full plate armour, which adds 3 different colour variants of the same armour to the game, which are craftable from the ebony section at the forge. You will require the HDT heal system in order to use this mod because of the boots that are used. And you get 4 items: the cuirass, paladrons, gloves and boots. This will give you 12 items in total due to the colour variants, and you can mix and match these together to create your own unique type of armour. The detail on the armour is absolutely fantastic. I love these intrinsic patterns and it's of a very high quality. The middle section of the armour actually looks very similar to one of Newmiller's other sets, the Elven set, which is another great mod that I recommend you try out, and I'll put a link to that in the description below next to this one. My favourite set has to be the steel blue set, but I really do like mixing each of the colour variants together and just making my own custom look with it. I really do like the fact that you can do that, and it's a real nice touch from the mod author to include different colour variants just to give the armour its unique and custom feel. Next up we have the big leather backpack, which is a fantastic accompaniment to mods such as Frostfall or the lighter Campfires. And what it does is it adds this brand new backpack to the game, which gives you a carry weight of plus 100. There are also other variants of the backpack included in the mod, and these will give you either a carry weight of plus 30, plus 50 or plus 60, and they're all available at the tanning rack. Now to craft these backpacks you will generally need 1 iron ingot, up to 5 pieces of leather and up to 5 leather strips depending on the size of the backpack. And for the plus 60 and plus 100 variants of the backpack you'll need a lesser soul gem or a common soul gem which are filled with a soul. There are a lot of backpack mods for Skyrim, but what I like about this one is the size of the bag. Generally in the game you're carrying a lot of items around with you, and sometimes it's a little bit unbelievable that you can carry everything around just on your person or in a tiny backpack on your back, and this just makes it look a hell of a lot more immersive, and in my opinion I just really do like the design of the bag itself as well. Next I have a mod from one of my favourite mod authors, and that is Gamwich. Now this mod author is very good at texture overhauls, and this is another one from the RUSTIC collection looking at Nordic murals. These murals can be found in most of the dungeons where you need to unlock a door with a dragon claw, and they're actually in that same corridor. So now is before and after shot of the vanilla mural being wiped over with Gamwich's 2K version of the mod. The changes are a little easier to see in the next scene, and really what you get with Gamwich's mod is exactly what it says on the tin. You get a more rustic feel to these murals. It's not a smooth stone anymore, it's quite a nice rough stone that's been carved into, and it actually looks like it's been there for a long period of time. And if you look really closely, like you can see in this scene, the detail is a lot more intricate than it is with the vanilla mural. And last up in this episode, I have the very interesting and very different Art of the Catch, which is by Chesko, who is the creator of Frostfall and Campfires. And what it does is it allows you to craft a fishing rod in game and then use it to catch fish, which obviously you would expect. This will also stop you from catching fish with your hands like you normally do. Firstly, you need to craft a fishing rod at the forge underneath the miscellaneous section, and this in turn will give you the power use fishing rod. Now you need to find yourself a body of water that has fish to catch in it, and the mod will actually tell you if there is no fish available when you try to use the power. Once you do, the small animation will play and you'll cast the line into the water. As soon as you start feeling a tug on the line, which will tell you a message at the top left, all you need to do is reel in the line using your activation key and you will catch a fish. In this case, I caught a salmon. And that's all there really is to it. The mod goes very nicely in hand with mods such as Frostfall or Campfires, and just gives a very more immersive way of catching fish. If you've ever tried to catch a fish with your hands, you'll know how difficult it actually is, and you have to train for quite a while to be able to do that. So this just generally gives a lot more immersion to the game. So that brings me to the end of episode 45 of another Skyrim mod feature. I hope you've liked the mods that I've shown in this video, and if you have, please do follow the links in the description to head to the mod pages and check them out there, and remember to endorse if you use. Here's a couple of my other videos, feel free to check those out, and as always guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.